I hope the government in Thailand can also do some preventions to make sure that, okay, everything's welcome, everything market is open, but how to kind of make sure that, okay, you will have some level to make sure that, okay, when they're coming in, it's not gonna harm for the local supply chain or some local business. So the supply chain here in Thailand are very stable. That's the only thing that they cannot take away. So that's why there are other countries, for example, like Vietnam or Malaysia, not only because, okay, they see that as a threat, that's why they're trying to having a better benefit, incentive. Japan, for instance, or maybe where we're coming from Taiwan, we have a lower interest rate. Like government really supporting the interest rate, so that means, okay, even when we borrow the fundings from government, when we return, it will be a low interest rate relative, like, okay, we need to suffer a lot because of interest rate. That will prohibit us to do the investment.
Welcome back to The Wave. I'm Franc Han Shih. With US tariff impacting global supply chains, businesses are trying to move their base to countries where they can get most benefits. A multinational company having established facilities in Mexico and Thailand is alleviating pressure by US impact. Joining me now is the CEO of Emolding International, Mr. Alex Liao, to give me more insights about business strategies amid US tariff impact. Thank you for your time, Alex.
Hey, thank you.
Right, I think this time, of course, we have to talk about your business strategies in Thailand and beyond too, amid US tariff impact. How has Trump tariff impacted your business strategies, and right now, how to go on?
Well, I think basically in general, because here in Thailand specifically, I've been here for 11 years. And back in Mexico, I have been running more than 20 years. So to talk about what is the tariff really giving me the trouble, let's go back to something even why we are over there in Mexico starting, because the NAFTA. My clients invite us to go to North America. We're starting with Asia. For example, we're starting with China. So at that time, everybody producing in China, but because some strategy differences, so that's why they want to localize. So they want us to become like a regional by regional business. So it's still globally. But why we're going to Mexico was because, okay, the benefit of the NAFTA. And then after Trump, okay, back in the first, the presidency. So he trying to create a different way of define for NAFTA, so it's called USMCA. So the USMCA, for the very beginning, he redefined what is called USMCA. A lot of country, a lot of, let's say, the investment already lean forward to Mexico because more close to the North America, which is close to the market in the United States. So I have to say that for the first period of a presidency from Donald Trump, he already tried to shake in the supply chain, everything lean forward back to the regional, not global business. So specifically back in like last year, okay, when he re-elected again, so he impounds more force to decentralize. They want to kind of abandon the China dominate for the global factory. So we start feeling like more pressure. But based on the new presidency, he start impose, for example, okay, starting for the April 1st day, people think that that's a joke, but actually no. He mean everything serious about, okay, everything coming into the United States, you have a different tariff. Regarding not only for China itself, even outside of the skirt. For example, like we're talking about the ASEAN, right? Because China will based on something outside of the layer. For example, from Vietnam, or maybe from let's say Thailand as well. Also link over to something like Malaysia. So we start feeling like more business out from China in the way that, okay, it's a good way to receiving more business, but Donald Trump also say that, okay, do not laundry your manufacturing because you are still from China. You move out from China doesn't mean that you're still made in China. So that's why they also imply something called country of origin, OCC. So OCC is another really key point. He right to see it. So that's why he want to cut everything from China. That's why even in Thailand, let's say this way, Thailand is originally was from 36% or 39%, correct me if I'm wrong. So luckily after the July, until the reality, when everything on open box, is 19%. So that's pretty good because I was really nervous about at that time. Thailand still the last minute, okay, to be finally say that, okay, from 39% down to 19%. So I was even thinking about, okay, are they something even going to move forward to Mexico? So we actually anticipating a lot of anxiety, not from the customer point of view, because our main client, let's say HP Computer, they are producing here, but they really don't know that, for example, right now, if this is going to be a truth. So maybe they will be already consider any other location.
Right. So you talk about, from the beginning, regionalization and transshipment. Actually, as what you said, country of origin that the U.S. government and Trump really request for, and not just for Thailand and those, China wants to move the supply chain to ASEAN to really label that as ASEAN. Actually, it's from China. But what's the impact to your business here right now? I think, of course, you already see that 19%, quite a relief, but actually we still see that impact coming.
Well, even though I think basically I also asking my team, okay, so how are things going? Because I'm really focusing on what happened in Mexico as well, because a lot of people rather choosing in Mexico or even back to United States. So in Thailand, particularly, I think we are impacted significantly for a couple of reasons. It's not overall the business out from China benefit in Southeast Asia. They do, but actually also the supply chain, because they are moving out, supply chain also come over this way. They used to work so closely with the clients in China. It's just because right now they want to change in different location because the better tariff, let's say this way. So we also facing some challenging about some changes. The global company, when they come out, they inviting their supply chain also come out. We thought that that's a great opportunity, but also that's a challenging as well. So we really forcing to change something to be sure about, okay, we used to have a really cutting edge privilege. So right now, okay, when new challenge is not about the new business coming in, no. Relatively, it's more challenging. So the challenging because the supply chain shifting out from China. So basically, I can say that, okay, in general, Thailand market, right? I was surprised. Everything is gonna move up about like 5% compared to last year to this year. But for what we see, we impact about 20%.
Of what?
Lost.
Okay.
The loss is because, okay, not because we are not competitive enough, because maybe the government also need to think about when people decentralize from China. Okay. They welcome maybe some China, let's say the supplier. They are the foreign investor, but when they invest like tremendous business, tremendous money, so everything is shaking the local business. Especially we have been here 11 years. We knew what happened before. Even we don't mind to have a challenges. But I think when those massive investment coming in, right, it's benefit for the general market, but for us as a small to intermediate enterprise, we suffer.
As an SME, of course, part of that, just want to understand, of course, you see the impact coming, no matter it's from China or other regions to come to Thailand and ASEAN too. What are the important policies from Thailand's government that you want to see from them, no matter it's financial support or another part of area? What's that for you, the significant part from the government?
It's not because we don't like China as our competitors. It's welcome because, okay, it's an open market, right? But in theoretically, even in Mexico or in US, because for sure, they want to decentralize China. But those China, either the investors or even the enterprise, they have a significant money. So they still monopoly right now in Mexico. I can see that in Mexico, same thing. Even right now when Donald Trump said, okay, I want everything built in the United States, a lot of China company already stand by going into US. So how does Mexican government and the US government trying to do? That's something based on my personal opinion. I can see that they're trying to set up different tiers. They want to make sure that, okay, at the same time, I know I'm attracting a lot of people coming into the United States to do the investment. Are they still belongs to China? Again, I'm not trying to against China, but because, okay, the massive of investment from there is shaking a lot of industry. So not only because the own industry suffer, they cannot even taking care of the small to intermediate enterprise. So the government really cut off their, let's say, the allowances. Or maybe, for example, their investments. So that means, okay, when they come, they come slowly, not something too quick. because otherwise they will still dominate the entire market. That's my personal opinion. So that means, okay, if Thailand, if I can give the suggestion, I understand that, okay, even you guys under the ASEAN, yeah, and also G7 as well. So I know in US, G7, they are involved, not the ASEAN. But between ASEAN, Thailand still open-minded to other country, okay, neighborhood country, to do the free trade, right? Are there any differences? Because I can see that right now, China also not welcome their the rare earth, see the mining, right? And also the material. They don't want to go all the way laundering through Thailand into United States. So that's another thing. So see, they can also do the preventions. I hope the government in Thailand can also do some preventions to make sure that, okay, everything's welcome, everything market, it's open. But how to kind of make sure that, okay, you will have some level to make sure that, okay, when they're coming in, it's not gonna harm for the local supply chain or some local business.
Yeah, I think one of the government policy is to give financial support to SMEs, no matter it's like 1 million baht per small businesses there. What do you think about it? Do you need financial support or other kind of incentives to really help you stay? I mean, I would say that.
For sure. I think that's pretty helpful. I think back in 3 years ago, which is after post-pandemic, I think the Thai government really opened some kind of funding to support the business back on track. So of course, during the pandemic, we do suffer. And then it doesn't mean that, okay, the business goes away. It's just like people more cautious about, okay, the working environments, safety, and that's why it's something that we need to enhance. Not only that, but also we're talking about carbon footprint, right? Yeah. So the carbon footprint neutralization, that's another thing that, okay, a lot of industry are urged to go for, because by 2027, I know globally we'll start trying to say carbon neutralizations. So that also another heavy liability for the enterprise like us, especially we're doing like environmental packagings. We also want to be a dominant leadership to continue to be like a social responsibility. Yeah. So we want to go with the let's say solar panel to try to cut down the carbon footprint. Those are kind of neutralization. So we're really trying to involve. So we know that the government really support for some certain levels. Right. So I think that kind of support will be really helpful. Not only that, but also for keeping us alive. So a better, let's say, compared to, I also have another factory and also my partner in Japan. Japan, for instance, or maybe where we're coming from Taiwan, we have a lower interest rate. Like government really supporting the interest rate, so that means, okay, even when we borrow the fundings from government, when we return, it will be a low interest rate relative, like, okay, we need to suffer a lot because of interest rate. That will prohibit us to do the investment.
Yeah, especially during this time, of course, escalating tension between US and China, I think maybe interest rate or financial support could really help. At the end, I think before we jump to the global supply chain competition, I want to talk about ASEAN a little bit more, because we understand that, of course, Vietnam, Malaysia, right now trying to attract, as what you said, supply chains from China or other regions to ASEAN, to their countries too. I think you also talk to partners around this area. Right. Thailand, of course, give some support in a way, but some smaller businesses owner that I talked to, they say that Vietnam and Malaysia might give more benefits here. What's your strategy in ASEAN? Would you see other countries in the region give more benefits than Thailand, and you would also establish your future facilities there too? Right. Would you think about that?
Well, I think a couple of things we also need to understand. Now we're talking about because China out from their supply chain to the neighborhood country. I know Thailand in the long run, because Japan has been investment here for more than 60, 70 years. So the supply chain here in Thailand are very stable. That's the only thing that they cannot take away. So that's why there are other countries, for example, like the Vietnam we mentioned about, or Malaysia, not only because, okay, they see that as a threat, that's why they're trying to having a better benefit, incentive. So we're talking about incentive back in the day, okay? They even offer something like a first 2 year for the foreign investors, zero tax, which means zero tax, also zero tax income tax for the first 2 years, and then the other 3 years, they even offer like a 50% off. So that really helping people want to invest that country. Doesn't matter if because you borrow the money, for instance, like an interest from a bank. But another thing I also want to mention because Vietnam, especially Malaysia, more people tend to speak Mandarin. So you see, if I'm a Chinese person, now I'm gonna go out of my comfort zone, go into another foreign country. If people who speak the same languages, I would rather go there. So it's not because of Thailand losing that competitiveness. It's just the nature of the people or the residents having less people speak Mandarin. So if you want to catch up, I think there's another great program right now, not only from China, but also from Thailand itself, encouraging people speaking Mandarin. Again, I'm not trying to impose that, people need to learn Mandarin, but that's another way that, those foreign investors, especially if you want to attract in those Chinese investors, that could be a good thing.
What about your business in the region, in Thailand, and upcoming? Would you see the necessity to move or even establish one in Vietnam or Malaysia or the other, in ASEAN, in other countries? Or you will keep it?
Well, I think I will keep it because, I've been here already 11 years. So we are not something built from scratch. When I start build from scratch, I definitely need to think about, which way will be better. After 11 years, that's why I say that, Thailand has a great competitiveness because the higher education overall in general. Higher infrastructure, that's definitely yes. Especially when we have a factory in Vietnam, those roads, it's really bad. So you have a greater infrastructure and also highly education overall. I think the RD, I would rather keep the RD, especially because people having the highly educated. So it will be easy for us to create everything from scratch. Even after 11 years, like my employees, they are all from Chulalongkorn University. I can see the benefit about, the quality of the students after the quality of how they work for each industry. So I have no problem to continue to work with here, especially even put more investment. I think eventually Thailand doesn't need to compete with Vietnam or maybe like Cambodia because they are lower cost labor. Here Thailand already has higher cost labor, but the only thing you can make yourself different is it's everything, it's more well defined. So not compared to the cost. Compare something that you guys good. Let's say this way, my country, which is from Taiwan, I know it's something not related, but Taiwan built itself with the high tech. So that's what we call Taipei as Taiwan is a high tech island. So that's why everybody wants to invite us, especially American at this moment, like TSMC. They spend billions of dollars attracting TSMC to go to United States to invest. So I think in the way that, why not consider Thailand could be a tech center of the Asia? So that means you guys still being a leader like a GOAT, GOAT. So that will be really helpful. Not only because you want to compete with the labor, no. You want to compete something more quality. You guys can design and also make something even better for the Southeast Asia.
Yeah, it's not just a short-term goal there, it's a long-term goal that we can aim for. For the Thailand government has to have this aim to put Thailand in that position. Lastly, just want to get your sense, as in we talk about escalation between US and China right now on rare earth, we don't know which topic next. Especially you have your business in Mexico too. How can you mitigate the crisis? Because the crisis is still going on. This is an ongoing crisis, never ending right now for now. So how can you mitigate the crisis right now? As in Mexico, right now in Thailand, you also have partner in Japan too. How do you see that going forward and how can you mitigate?
Well, everybody say the same thing when we're doing the business in North America. I think no matter what, this government, the presidency right now is a Trump, right? They always say American won't go back. So MAGA is one of the way they're gonna do. But at the same time, they also kind of criticize. I'm not a hypocritical person or something. I just want to make sure that because they also call taco. I don't know if you know what this taco means. Because when U.S. trying to impose something, right, they also kind of have regrets. So at the end, you want to strike the balance about when the U.S. government pushing you forward, but you also need to look back. Is this something that works for you to invest? And then don't try to go too much because at the end, everything will still balance itself. Whatever right now between country to country, like a two joint country, they're fighting. I know we are under the nest. We don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. But step up your feet straight and then look into something that you're trying to aim in. Because what I'm trying to understand about is, for sure, it is still globalization. Nobody gonna de-globalization, that's truth. And that's why whatever in Thailand or maybe whatever here in North America, people will change. Mind will change. The something no change is because, okay, when you create your own values, when you create your own value, people cannot ignore you. Yeah. So I will rather say that when we trying to put different basket into different regions, I would rather say, why not think about something you cannot create, something people cannot. Yes. Yeah, so that would be the key value for us.
To be irreplaceable
something
in
like
the supply chains, and of course, just stay in with your value in the game. Yes. And everything is transitory about the tensions between China and US, because we might see some changes in the future too. So as what you said, very good ending here.
Okay,
thank you. The value here. So today we have Mr. Alex Liao here, the CEO of Emolding International, to give me insights about his business strategies and of course Thailand's position amid US tariff impact. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
More news to come.